Here we are then, folks. The day has finally arrived. It's FM21 launch day, which, more importantly, means it's Non-League to Legend episode 1 day. The series that has been going for as long as I've been doing YouTube is back for another year. If you're a previous viewer from previous years, welcome back. You know what's coming. If you're new, you've never seen Non-League to Legend before, this save is a little bit different. I put a video up a couple of weeks ago explaining the premise for the save, the rules and all that kind of stuff. I'll link to that below. So if you are new, you can get up to speed with how we do things here in Non-League to Legend. Spoilers, it's basically full-on realism role-playing mode, and it is loads of fun. I'm very, very excited. If you're excited too, make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn all your notifications and all that kind of stuff on. You know the drill. Just make sure you don't miss out on any of these episodes. And if you want another episode today, you know what's coming here. We've done this before. If you want another episode later on today, we have a likes target for you. And it's a big one because we set a big one in the beta and you smashed it with time to spare. So we're going big again. If we get 5,000 likes on this video before 9 p.m. tonight, I'll release episode 2 at 9 p.m. tonight. So 5,000 likes, you get episode 2 today. Can't say fairer than that, can we really? If you didn't want such a big target, you shouldn't have smashed the last one. Also, to celebrate launch day of the game and the start of the new series, I am going to be giving away another copy of the game. The link to how to do that is down in the description below. It's basically retweeting the tweet about this video. So head down there, do that. I'll announce the winner of that probably in tomorrow's episode. One other thing before we get started as well, it would be remiss of me to do an intro to a new series without reminding you I do have a discount code to buy the game as well. That's at the top of the description below. So if you want a little bit of a discount, get it cheaper than it is over on Steam so you can play along. That's where you do that. But I think that's all the housekeeping out of the way. It's time to roll the new intro, settle into our new club at Kettering, and get stuck into Non-League to Legend FM21 edition. Hello and welcome to part 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are going to explore our new club, get settled in, and figure out how we're going to bring some success here to Kettering Town Football Club. As you can see, I have been confirmed as the new manager. I've been appointed as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the 38-year-old. It never stops stinging each year when we start a new FM save, when you see that number rise. It's a long time since they bumped my age up automatically now. Who's recently spent time away from club football and is ready to face plenty of questions from the media for the first time at Latimer Park. He's put pen to paper on a 1-year deal at £575 a week and replaces previous manager Paul Cox. They're getting a little bit ahead of themselves here because we haven't actually confirmed it's possible to do, because we all know the rules in Non-League to Legend. Before I can officially confirm that I'm going to take on the new job, I have to make sure it's actually going to be possible for me to do. And the only way to do that is to head over to Google Maps. So as you'll know, I always choose the club closest to where I live in real life when I do Non-League to Legend, and this year I've moved house really quite recently. I'd already announced I was going to be doing Kettering at my old house. It just so happens that they're also pretty close to my new house though. I don't actually live dead in the centre of Leicester. I don't really want to share my actual location, but I'm in this general Leicester-ish area. So from Leicester, we're looking at a 49-minute drive to get all the way down here to Kettering, or 1 hour, 26 minutes on the train. On what planet can a train journey take longer than driving? I don't understand. For me, 49 minutes in the car each day, each way, that's too long. We're going to have to buy a house in Kettering. But by golly, how will we know how much money we have to spend? To the Halifax mortgage calculator. Our weekly wage of £575 a week works out at £29,900 over the course of the year, which on the good old-fashioned Halifax mortgage calculator means we can borrow up to £119,600. There are other mortgage calculators available. I just always use the Halifax one. If they want to sponsor me, you know where I am, Halifax, I hope. We do need to put down a 15% deposit down though, so I hope we've been saving up whilst we've been waiting to get into football. But 119,000 with a little bit of a deposit, I think comfortably we can get somewhere for 125,000, which should be able to get us somewhere that at least has room for a bed and some chairs in Kettering. Let's head to Rightmove. So £125,000 in Kettering, and there's actually 38 properties that are available to us. It looks like the majority of them are flats. If I could avoid a flat and find a house, that would be lovely. There's a 1-bedroom semi-detached house. I didn't know such a thing existed. That one looks, hold the phone. This one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 chairs in one shot here. We have our house, boys and girls. I know we said avoid a flat, but when they know how to sell a flat to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can sit on that. You can get 2 people on there. That's 7, 8, 9, 10 chairs just in this one shot. This is where we're going to be living, boys and girls. It does look like they've rammed all the chairs into the kitchen. We've got like a kitchen corner, and then more chairs. I mean, that's a corner just for chairs. No wardrobe, bed. But I mean, who's going to spend time in the bedroom? We've got all those places to sit down. We're starting with more chairs in our starting property than we've ever had before. And I mean, it's even got 2 balconies. I mean, seriously, 110 grand for this. This is a good house. Clearly there's been some house price dropping over the last year. We're going to move in there. Yes, we can go manage Kettering now. I guess we should go and check that the team's not rubbish. So if we hit next on here, and have a little look at the history of Kettering Town Football Club. So we already have a director of football in place, which is nice. I like a director of football. We have a 1-star reputation and a media prediction of 16th place. I mean, I think we should be able to do 16th place at any club first season. If we're finishing in the bottom half of the table, we're doing something wrong, I would suggest. We play at Latimer Park, which has a capacity of 3,131, built in 1973. Our facilities are not great. We've got adequate training facilities and recruitment, below average youth facilities. It looks like we have won some things in the past. Won the National League North in 2008, and then various non-league trophies. They're also looking for us to... Oh, no, that's not what we're looking for. That's where we enter. So we are in the FA Cup and the FA Trophy this season as well. Apparently, we have a fierce rivalry with Rushden and Diamonds. Did Rushden and Diamonds still exist? Well, Rushden and Diamonds went out of business years ago. They're not clickable. Mind you, neither are Kettering. So apparently Rushden and Diamonds are our big rivals. Our best period of success was in the 1980s, when we finished runners-up in the 5th tier. So what's that? 5th tier is the National League. A couple of times, in fact, 4 times we finished runners-up, but never actually made it to the Football League. And to my mind, Kettering are something of an FA Cup team, FA Trophy runners-up as well. This team is always a bridesmaid, never the bride. We need to fix that. We need to go dress shopping. Right, this is apparently our best team. I mean, that is the most Football Manager lineup I've ever seen. A 4-3-3 with a flat front 3 and a holding midfield player. They've obviously been doing their research on Football Manager over the years. Looks like who's our star man? Top earner is Adam Collin, our goalkeeper. Hot prospect is Max Shaw, who's not in that first team. Key player is Johnny Hunt, who is our left back. So it looks like we're going to be solid defensively, like every Kev team. The club culture is to make progress on and off the pitch. I love an open-ended club culture. The 5-year plan is literally just to work within the wage budget. There's no ambition here, is there? And by the end of this season, they're looking for a mid-table finish in the National League North. And within 5 years, we don't mind if you maybe reach the playoffs of the National League North. We don't need you to win them. Just reach the playoffs. If we're still aiming to just reach the playoffs in 5 seasons, I think I'll have been sacked by then. I can't believe they're going to let me just mooch around in mid-table in the National League North forever. Although, looking at the lack of ambition, it certainly looks that way. If I find a way to get sacked from this club, I have done something spectacular. So, if we get stuck into the inbox, there's some players with some high ratings here. Adam Collin, he was the guy who was the highest earner, wasn't he? So 35-year-old goalkeeper, highest earner, but also best player, arguably. He's only just signed for us, actually. Lots of league football in his history. I tell you what, I don't know how the Kettering fans in real life feel about this signing. That looks like a cracking signing for Kettering. Played a full season of League 2 football for Carlisle last year and has now come in to play for us for a year. That seems like an incredible signing. He's only in for the year, so all of these are new signings. We're not going to be able to extend contracts just yet, even though they've only got a year left. Typical non-league stuff. Ryan Fryatt. I feel like me and Ryan Fryatt have previous Yeah, we do. Ryan Fryatt was involved with us at Kings Lynn last year. Is there any other familiar names on here? Don't see any. I think he used to play for Peterborough. Yeah, posh youth player years ago. It's just, we'll just apply recommendations for now because there's nothing we can do on there at the moment. Tactical direction, we'll wheel back round to. We'll come back to that in a minute. We've already agreed to that stuff. Pre-season preparation. We've got obviously a long pre-season because we are playing in pandemic times. So the league season actually starts on the 6th of October. We do play a qualifying FA Cup round game before then, but that is a late start to the season, even later than the Premier League. And we might want to arrange a couple more friendlies in there because as it stands at the moment, we play our last friendly more than a month before the season starts. So we probably need to squeeze a couple more friendlies in there. Injury-wise, there's no one currently on the injury list, which is nice. We don't need to know about the Premier League transfers, and we'll make our decisions about this stuff once we've had a proper look through the team. So here we have the team, obviously set up using the LOLLUJO view, which is now on the Steam Workshop. If you want the LOLLUJO view, just head over to the Steam Workshop, search for LOLLUJO view, and you'll find it, and you too can benefit from this beautiful squad view. I don't know why I'm pushing that so hard. That doesn't make me any money. But this is the squad. It looks like a very small squad. Have we got lots of players knocking around in youth teams? A few, but I mean, I'm so used to seeing Premier League squads. It's a bit of a shock seeing such a small squad. We sort that by current ability. As we've already been told, really, our best player is Johnny Hunt, who's 29 years old, can play on the left side of midfield or at left back. He's a 4.5-star current ability player who's just signed on a free transfer from Hamilton, previously of Stevenage, Mansfield. He's done the lower league rounds, but he's actually on a non-contract by the looks of that. So that's interesting. Are we only semi-pro then? How can we do? We're only semi-pro. Okay. I don't remember the last time I started. Were Kings Lynn semi-pro last year? I feel like we're usually a professional team at the start of non-league to legend, but we're semi-pro. We've got players on non-contract. That's interesting. That is interesting. So we've got a wage budget of 5,500 that we're not actually getting anywhere near. And if we've got a lot of players on these non-contract, we haven't actually got a lot. There's 4 of them, and 3 of them are amongst our best players. I was thinking we could bin a few off without it costing us anything and actually do a bit more of a rejig of the squad. But looking at it, 3 of our 4 best players are all on non-contract. So that's possibly a little bit alarming because it means they could just walk out at any moment. So we've got 3 non-contracts and a goalkeeper who's out of contract at the end of the year and is 35. I think we definitely need to do a little bit of a rebuild job this year. But looking at the sort of positions of who our best players are, looks like we're very much loaded up in certain roles. So Hunt is a left midfielder. Stevens, our 3rd best player, is a left winger. And we've then got the next 4 best players are all strikers. Sam Jones, DeCarry Sheriff, Lorne Bickley and Dan Holman, all strikers. I said we'd be all right defensively. Looking at this, I am already questioning that. I'm interested to see that this thinks that his best position is left wing when it's not actually his natural position at all. His natural position is in there. So we've got the 4 strikers plus effectively an attacking midfielder. If Hunt's our left back, we're going to have to play a 2-striker system. We've got no real wide players if Hunt's playing. I'm leaning towards a diamond already looking at this because it allows us to get 2 players and Ben Stevens in. Ben Milnes could potentially slot in there. Is anyone else feeling a diamond looking at this? If we have a look at our tactics, we're not going to do a wing play diamond. That feels like a bad idea. A direct counter-attacking diamond. This goes against everything I would ever do in football. And I don't know how well a diamond is going to work with this kind of system. But we could potentially do something like that. And then if we take selection advice and just have a look at who we'd lump into that and then go back here, are we getting our key players in that team? So, yeah, pretty much we are. I mean, we can't fit all of those strikers in and we're probably a little bit weak. A little bit weak at centre-back. I was going to say, why is he playing at left-back? We probably do need to strengthen that defence. We go over to the team report and just have a look at what we've got based on this system. Very much loaded up for strikers, attacking midfielders. We're good as well. Centre mid isn't disastrous, although a lot of these are going to be players who are going to be playing somewhere else. Like Johnny Hunt will be at left back. Stevens is probably going to be as our attacking midfielder. Milnes is going to be the defensive midfielder, so we probably need a couple of midfielders if we're going to do this system. Definitely need to be strengthening at the back, though. Once you get past Hunt and Colin, we don't really have much in the way of a defence. I mean, you look at the midfield, and Michael Rickens is in there as our fourth best midfielder, and the first one who's not already dedicated to another position. But then you look at right back and see Rickens is our best right back. So we then go as far as this guy, Connor Kennedy, who's only a 2.5-star player, and is our best out-and-out centre mid if we're going to be playing these players in other roles. I don't know if I'm married to this diamond. If we look at something I've used a little bit more often in recent years, like a 4-3-3, it does take Stevens out of his key role as an attacking midfielder, but he's just as comfortable playing on the left or the right wing. It does mean we can only get one of those strikers in the side, although Sheriff looks like he can move out onto the right-hand side, and means we're a little bit less stretched in the middle here. Or we could maybe do a 4-2-3-1, because we don't really have a defensive midfielder. That way, you've got Stevens, probably not Hunt. We definitely need to sign some players, but it's just whether or not we're going to have the money and the oomph to be able to do it. It's going to be interesting because there's no money to spend. We don't really have much in the way of recruitment. We have no scouts. We've got no recruitment team. What have we got in the youth system? Ashanti Price, another striker, seriously. And Jack Turner, who's a centre-back, and probably is someone we're going to look at for games this year, because if he's got 3.5-star potential and we're weak at the back, we probably need to be keeping an eye on him fairly early on. But there's definitely work to be done here at Kettering before we start the season. I need to go and assemble this into something resembling a team that can try and not get relegated this year, I guess, is the goal. The media are expecting an 18th place finish. The board are just looking for mid-table. We don't have anybody in the media Dream 11. I think we are a pretty poor side. We are relatively recently promoted, and they actually came up to the National League North last year with Kings Lynn, and Kings Lynn was slightly closer to where I lived, which is why I did Kings Lynn rather than Kettering last year. If you look back over the last 10 years or so, Kettering are not a big team at this level. I want to manage expectations. We're not getting promoted this year, I don't think. Last season, they finished 20th. And I think finishing any higher than that this year is progress and improvement and something we should strive to do. So I'm going to go away, do some transfers. Hopefully you've already hit the like button by now, because if you have, and we get 5,000 of you by 9 o'clock tonight, you'll be able to see those transfers and our first games at 9 o'clock tonight in episode 2. But for now, I am going to go away and get my thinking cap on, work out what I need to do to this team. If you've got any suggestions, feel free to use the comments section. I'm probably not going to take many of them on board because I'm probably just going to go and do it now. But I always like to hear what you would have done, especially if it's different to what I ended up doing, because it's interesting, isn't it? But if you have enjoyed that as a first episode of Non-League to Legend this year, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.